Yeah, the Cardinals will be interesting going forward. I'm really looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing how things unfold here in the month of September, going into October. I think the postseason is going to be very exciting, especially bigger market teams. No offense to the smaller market teams, but bigger
Yeah.
market teams make the postseason, and then like the Mariners say they break that drought. It's going to be very, very exciting. Be sure to email us, jimbopodcast21@gmail.com, for all of your questions, concerns, comments, and try to avoid going into the spam folder. Now, mind you, you don't go into the spam folder if you have a good question or a good comment. But if you don't, you have spam written all over you. All right, let's get into today's topic, episode 112, Gaining the Mental Edge. And we touched on earlier in the show about younger guys and how they can gain the mental edge. But let's just talk about, and your dad mentioned this in one of his books about, using those old school reports. And there's so much information out there now. How do you go about using those old school reports and gaining the mental edge for not just the starting pitcher, but the entire pitching staff overall? Because that on the other side, those pitching coaches, they've got the edge on you, or trying to gain the edge on you with all of their reports as well.
The mental edge has to be different for each player. So if you're somebody that wants and uses information, then you can filter through it. Some people, they don't want anything. They just want to react to the pitch.
Yeah.
And so then you have to deal with those people, a little bit cautiously, with white gloves, if you will, and give them very small, talking as a hitting coach, small information like, let's be on time with a fastball. What do you want to hit here? I want to look fastball and react to something else. Okay, so let's make sure we're on time for that fastball. Let's make sure your rhythm is right. Let's make sure. I just read a tweet. I had to bring it up why can't I remember his name? He's all over.
It's probably better you don't.
The Shigan guy. No, it was a great tweet. The second, Jeff Fry.
I followed him a while ago.
Yeah, he was saying that he was talking about facing Greg Maddux, and he noticed something with his grip every time he would throw a cutter.
Yeah.
I think it was a cutter he was talking about. He noticed something in the grip when he was warming up, like before his 8 pitches to start the game. He just noticed something, and he took that into his first at bat and said, okay, I'm going to sit on that cutter, and I know that if I see that grip, whenever he's doing it, I'm going to get it. And he said, I was able to, get a line drive base hit my first at bat just on that. I mean, that's a game time adjustment right there. He just noticed something. Maybe Maddux never did it, but that day he was off and he was tipping something. So, that's mental edge right there, and typically guys that are a little bit grittier, guys that have less athleticism, guys that are smaller, guys that have vision problems, they have to be smarter. They have to have a better mental plan. They can't just go up there and react. I told this story before with Larry Walker, back in the day, my dad talking to him, and my dad saying, what do you, look for a different event? He's like, oh, I just react to it. I don't look for anything. I just react. I remember my dad saying, man, you must really have good vision and, athleticism to do that. And Larry said, yeah, I've just always kind of been like that. And my dad, who has like 2800 vision, was like, geez, I have to look in a certain area and whatever. But he got to talking more to Walker. And so Walker said, well, if the guy's not getting his breaking ball over and the counts 1-0, what do you look for? And Walker said, well, I look for a fastball. So even when people say they don't cheat or they don't react, they always have a plan. And so you have to kind of figure what's best for you. The old plans were feel. They weren't even written down. It was just, the players would kind of, whenever I face this team, they always attack me this way. My dad can still, he's 79 years old, and he could still tell me how different teams and pitchers used to attack him. Like, he just knew it. He didn't have to read a report. They weren't giving any reports, but he had that brain that said, okay, these guys try to work me here. This is what I'm going to do. And that's when he became a good hitter, is when he would talk to Williams about that. Because Williams asked him, well, what do these guys do to you? And my dad's like, I don't know. Let me go back in my memory bank. And then he started to create a plan, and Williams would say, okay, well, this is how they do it. This is what I want you to do. And then my dad was able to kind of formulate a plan and then carry it out. And then when my dad would beat that pitcher 1 or 2 times, then Williams would take him inside and say, okay, now they're going to do something different. So, you have to be mentally sharp. You have to have something. And mentally sharp may not be anticipation. It may just be mental clarity. relaxing before a game, sitting in a dark room, visualizing you're at bat. That could be your mental plan. It could be timing and rhythm. Okay, I'm going to prepare myself mentally and physically for this game to make sure I'm going on time. Maybe I'm going to, I don't know, I'm going to work out today. Okay, I'm going to have a different workout before the game. Maybe that makes me feel better, mentally and physically. I feel better. I feel prepared. So it doesn't have to be a mechanical thing. It doesn't have to be even a hitting thing. It can be, how do you prepare yourself for your best self to show up in the batter's box that night? And maybe it's diet. I ate good today. I ate clean today. I had a good workout, and man, I feel great going into this game. That could be a positive mental plan too.